Welcome back, everyone, to our My Team Career Mode gameplay of Formula One 2020. So our last couple of races have been eventful. They have been challenging, to say the least. We've had some durability issues, not only with my practice gearbox, but also our teammate had a failure during the race and had to retire. So those are some things we're going to have to address long term. But right now, my focus is purely on performance. Because let's face it, if we have to take a grid penalty for swapping out components that we're not technically allowed to, then we're already at or near the back in our starting position, so it's not a huge issue right now. So I'm concerned about performance. That's what I want. So I've already queued up our activities. The good news is we didn't have to make any decisions here. We had plenty of time to do all of these, and of course, you guys know I prioritize the sponsorship events. Anything that's going to give us team acclaim or driver acclaim, I'm all about. If we can also get some resource points, I'm all about that as well. But we were able to fit everything in, so not a huge issue there. You can see everything in the time schedule that's coming up before July 2nd, which will be the Austrian Grand Prix. Should be quite a bit of fun. That is an interesting track to race on. Now we come over to our facilities. 3.43 million right now, and Aero is not a place where we can do any improvements right now. You can see we need 5 million before we can do anything else in here, but that's okay because I'm not terribly worried about it. But if we come over to chassis, this is, along with Aero, these are the two most important areas for me to focus on right now. So we've already looked at resource point generation. We're as high as we're going to get for right now there. 6 million is quite a bit for us. So it comes down to, for me, fabrication. I want to open up the possibility of doing 2 simultaneous developments at one time, and then at some point in the future we'll come back and start dealing with the quality control and build time. But I really want to open this one up. So 2.5 million, that takes us down to 934 grand. You can see the upgrade is not instantaneous. However, it'll be done soon enough. So it'll be done June the 20th, which is in, what, about a week in game time. So that's going to take care of where we need to be here right now. Let's actually come over to corporate for a second, because I want to take a look at a driver perk. So we've done a few driver perks already, but the one we haven't done is the media coaching. I want to unlock this additional answer. It's only 225,000. So now we are done. We are at level 1 on everything and can't make any further improvements until level 8. You see at the top of the screen right now, we're at acclaim level 6. So we got a little while to wait, and we'll see just how long that ends up taking. Finances, all of that is perfectly fine. The vehicle, again, we've had issues here with durability, but we're working through all of that, and who knows, we might have to end up using some additional parts, some grid penalties, whatever, but we'll work through that as we can. Now, one thing I do need to address is that practice gearbox. We had a failure in the last weekend. We're only at 72%. I have no idea if they're going to repair that and it's going to be at all usable for the next race. So I'm going to go ahead and queue up a new one. Now, does it cost money? How long does it take? I have no idea the answers to any of these questions. And as far as I know, there's no information to tell me that. But I do want to order a new practice gearbox. So you can see there, it's pending. Don't know how long that's going to take or whatever, but I guess we'll find out at the next race. So now we come back to R&D. So the two areas we're most interested in is chassis and aero. We've already got one chassis upgrade working, which is the monocoque structure, which is a major weight reduction. Very excited to get that in the car. The next one in line in this area would be the engine cover, where we can move some weight around and help out there. Another major weight distribution or improvement there, but we have to wait for our upgrade to take effect there. So the question becomes, do we want to wait and then start up this one, or do we want to go over to aero, where we've got a major front downforce or rear downforce upgrade waiting for us? I'm going to go front downforce, and let's go ahead and queue this one up. And when is it going to be done? Looks like after our next race, which is not really a surprise. July 8th, it looks like. Okay, let's go ahead and develop that. We can see 29% failure chance. We know all about that. All right, so now we're down to 200 resource points. That is no problem at all. We'll get to some of these other upgrades at some point, but right now it's all about performance. So probably the next thing I'll be interested in will be over here in the chassis area with that engine cover, so we can get another major upgrade there. But that's going to be a little bit before we'll have the resource points necessary for that. And I believe that takes care of everything we needed. We took care of our facilities. We made an upgrade there. We've done some R&D work. And you notice on the right-hand side of the screen, we are at, or very close to the bottom. So that's essentially where the game is telling us we should be finishing right now. We are at a point where it's essentially neck and neck between us and Haas, and Alfa Romeo are also right there with it, with the AlphaTauri just a bit ahead. So we have, if we can make some substantial upgrades, we're at a point where we could start to run very close to points paying positions, because we could leapfrog a few different teams very quickly if we play our cards right. And of course, that assumes that they're not making some R&D improvements as quickly as we are. So a lot of work to be done, but we're getting closer and closer to these guys that will allow us to move up several positions at once. So I believe everything is ready to go. Let's go ahead and advance time. It looks like the 22nd is the next time we're going to get some resources. Okay, there we go. Upgrade is done. Another chassis upgrade.
Our new parts have been completed without issue. They'll be on the car ready for the next
Thank goodness. Weekend. No failure in R&D. So we've now got 440 points through R&D, 1.37 million. Not interested in spending any money right now. We're saving up for our next major upgrade, either chassis or aero. But right now, I think we're just ready to move forward all the way up to race time. Let's just let things... of course, you see on the 29th, coming up, we're going to get some additional resources. And there you have it. So now, as we prepare for the race weekend, the Austrian Grand Prix, we have a little over $2 million, 680 resource points. Hey, it's time for some racing.
Welcome to the beautiful Styrian Mountains for another chapter in the story of the Austrian Grand Prix. The Spielberg circuit then is situated 700 meters above sea level, with just 10 corners making up one of the shortest laps of the season. One time around here is a distance of 2.6 miles, with the best overtaking chances into turn 1 or the tight uphill turn 3. And as always, a man with plenty of racing experience joins me in the commentary box. Today it's Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, you're no stranger to surviving the melee of turn 1. So how do you keep out of trouble when there's so much going on around you?
Well, the throttle goes both ways, Crofty. You've got to have the discipline not to try and win the race on the first lap. So always be prepared to lift early and give those around you more space. Trying to be the last of the late breakers with half a dozen cars around you may pay off from time to time, but it's also a great way to lose your front wing.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday puts him on pole, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Vettel, Hamilton, Max Verstappen and Albon, Ricciardo, Stroll, the rookie and Sergio Perez, Norris, Ocon, Carlos Sainz and Grosjean, Magnussen, Kvyat, Kimi Raikkonen and Antonio Giovinazzi, Alesi, Russell, Latifi and Pierre Gasly picks up the final grid slot today. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head to trackside for today's race.
All right, folks, here we go. Turn 1, lap 1. Let the chaos begin. Always giving me just enough room. All right, what do we got? Anybody around us? Look at these guys fighting it out in front of us. I see yellow flags behind us. Hopefully I didn't cause any of that.
Great first lap. Keep it up.
again, we're just going to try to... Ooh, look out. Those guys slowed down quite a bit more than I was expecting. And I mean quite a bit more. So obviously the AI at this particular track isn't as strong as some of the other places we've been so far. We qualified 9th, and wow, what a first lap. Up to 5th, now we just need to maintain this. So I started working on setups a little bit. Initially didn't want to, but there's just a certain feel that I'm looking for out of the car. And the more comfortable I can be in the car, the better off I'm going to be long term. And of course that means better laps I can run and so forth. More consistency, more lap time. I've not figured this corner out at all. I'm terrible at this corner. I'm terrible at several of the corners actually, but this one included. But working on the setup long term, I think is going to make a lot of sense and really come in handy. However, right now we are so far below the top guys on performance that it's making a lot of my setup work hard to transfer over. So I'm working on it.
DRS will be enabled this lap.
Right, so we got
you can
DRS.
use it when within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
So all the work I'm doing in, we'll just call it single player or quick race mode, all of that work doesn't directly transfer over because we're so far off the pace. You know, chassis, aero, all those things are not where they would be with a fully upgraded car. So I'm having to make quite a few adjustments to tighten up this car since we just don't have the grip. But so far so good in this race. I'm actually quite amazed. Can't believe I'm running behind Vettel at this point in our career. Certainly didn't see that coming. Definitely didn't hit that corner well. All right, so we have the benefit of DRS on Vettel. However, the guys behind us do not have the benefit of it on us, so that is good. We're getting the toe down the straightaway, and of course DRS is only going to help with that. But so far so good. This is an absolute blast. So this is how the guys at the front get to run. I see Vettel and then Verstappen. Not sure who is in front of those two guys. So of course we're in traffic right now, which means we're going to be very tight. Very aero tight, so even tighter than the way I set up the car. All right, so we're pulling ahead of the guys behind us, but we're right here with Vettel. We're about anywhere from half a second to 7/10 usually. So he's pulling away a little bit there now. Got through that corner definitely better than I did. Trying to remember to save that engine with the RPMs as much as I can. All right, I feel like that was a little better in that corner that time around, but I have made some horrible mistakes there in the past. That was not a good corner, however. Woo. Yeah, those curves are not always kind. Definitely some setup adjustments needed to help that out. All right, so 2.5 seconds behind that's Hamilton. I didn't even realize the first time I've actually looked to see who was behind us. We are ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Let that sink in for just a moment. Just a moment, let that sink in. Of course, not all the tracks are even as far as the AI. Some, the AI are going to be a little easier to handle than others. This is obviously going to be one of those.
Leclerc's taken the lead.
But we're right here with the leaders. I mean, this is unbelievable. Hey, I'll take it. Even if it's the only track where this happens all year, I will take it. Any opportunity we have to run well, I'm all over it. Yeah, we're at 3 seconds ahead of Hamilton now.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the mediums.
Trying to get close enough to really make this DRS useful, but for Vettel, of course, he's got 2 guys in front of him. So I'd like to be able to take advantage of that. Wow, okay, maybe not that much. Trying to save a little wheel spin there, using third out of that corner. We're right here with them. So this is that the leader up front that I see in the front of this pack? I believe it is. That is equal parts hilarious and exciting.
Bottas is up in first place.
Bottas in first. All right, I know he's right up ahead of us. Missed that corner. Wasn't terrible, but didn't hit the marks I needed to. All right, so coming up on midpoint of the race, which of course will be because of the shorter race distances. That's going to be our pit window. Don't wreck it. We almost wrecked it right there. I was using a bit too much of that curve, so we're just going to calm down for a minute. Okay, we got 2.5 seconds.
Pit window open. Let's box this lap.
All right, so he wants us in this time around. I'm guessing that most everybody is either going to come in now or the next time around, so an additional lap. A big part of me wants to go in an additional lap on these soft tires. I have not pulled up the visual to see what kind of wear we've got, what kind of grip we have remaining in these things, but that was a clue right there, I believe. Rear tires, of course, wearing out. You can hear me pedaling it a little bit more around that corner. All right, I don't even remember how to get into pit lane. All right, there we go. AI has taken over. So that wasn't a great pit entry, that's for sure. All right, so let's see what we got. I see, what, a few people? Yeah, I see a lot of the crews that are scurrying right now. Let's look at this. Look at that driving. Yeah, that's why there's no way I can do that.
Complete. Go
All
now.
right, medium tire. Look at that. He almost hit that wall.
That was a our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops.
All right, when are you going to give me the control? All right, right there at the pit exit, literally at the line. Okay. All right, we'll see how this all works itself through. Trying to be as careful as I can with these rear tires. I mean, we're having an amazing race. Last thing I want to do is try to mess that up. So we're just going to bide our time here a little bit. Let these guys in front of us probably are going to be pitting here. If not this lap, very shortly. Okay, there's one of them that peels off. That gives us a little bit more room in front of us. Again, nobody pushing us from behind.
Our gap to the car in front is 2.7 seconds. Giuliano is in the pits. Giuliano in the pits.
Teammate come in one lap after me. Makes sense. So far, everything according to plan.
We're leading our teammate by 8.2 seconds.
All right, there's Verstappen.
Caution. Caution, caution, yellow flags ahead. No overtaking through the caution zone. Be careful until you see the greens.
I haven't seen greens yet. Oh, I think that was just it. I mean, not that we're in any danger of overtaking anybody right now. All right, this would be a great time to overtake Verstappen. Well, so much for that.
Expect to see some rain about 10 to 15
we
minutes
overtook
from
Vettel
now.
throughout all of this. Let's see if we got enough speed to stay in front of him. That's the real question. Great job by the AI driving through the pits, by the pit crew getting us here. Let's see if we can build a little bit of a gap on Vettel. Well, wouldn't that be something? Ooh, that was not a good corner. But again, now Vettel, he's got our dirty air to contend with. For the first half of the race, we had his dirty air to contend with. Him and a few guys in front of him.
Bottas is leading the race.
Still got multiple corners that I just haven't quite figured out just yet. Even a little bit. But again, that's part of the fun. All right, I feel like Vettel is stalking us from behind.
The gap to the car ahead is 1.5 seconds. Some information on Vettel. They're slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car.
Ooh, okay. Okay, that's interesting. He did say Vettel, right? I think he said Vettel.
We have 5 laps of fuel remaining.
I always hate it when he tells me that. Makes me think we're going to run out. Like, if we didn't have an issue with fuel, then he wouldn't be telling me that, right? All right, so Vettel has definitely dropped off the pace a little bit from us, which again is just so much fun to say. Unfortunately, the top 3 are pulling away quite steadily from him. again, just trying to be careful going through here. I don't have the pace of the guys in front. And it doesn't seem like Vettel has pace to keep up with me for various reasons. Terrible corner there. So right now we're just sort of in between. We've got a nice comfortable pace that we can run. An area of the track that's cleared out for us. Looks like Vettel's got his hands full with Albon. Turn 1 is so much fun. It is very tricky, but it is so much fun.
Gap to car in front is 2.9 seconds.
Yeah, we got ourselves a nice little sweet spot here. I am thoroughly enjoying it. Sometimes I just get mesmerized by the sound of the engine. Those RPMs turning. All right, now 3 seconds up on Albon, so he's won the battle for now. Actually, Vettel may have gotten, may have gone into the pit lane. Once again, I see Hamilton back there a couple of slots behind us.
There's 3 laps of fuel remaining.
You gotta quit telling me that. Just worrying me to death that we're gonna run out of fuel. I think he's doing it on purpose. He's just trying to mess with me now. Having a little fun on the pit box. Where are we? What do we got left? Not that I really want this race to end, because I most definitely do not. I'm having all sorts of fun right now. Just feels like you come to a complete stop in that corner. Listen to those RPMs as that engine purrs.
This is your final lap.
All right, final lap. I'm trying to catch as much as I can. I'm trying to catch a glimpse of the cars in front of me and their duel that they're having
right
right
is
there.
catching you by 5/10 a lap. 5/10.
I mean, Leclerc and Verstappen, I assume that means Bottas is leading the race. But they seem to be having a quite the duel up there right now.
Rain is forecast in just over 10 minutes' time. Rain in 10 minutes.
This is the last lap, right? I didn't imagine him saying that. At least I don't think I did. The lap counter would tell me. Yeah, there we go. He's telling me in 10 minutes, so you mean during the post-race celebration. That's what you mean.
All right, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
Thankfully for me, I don't have to worry about taking care of the car on the way in. We came in 4th place, folks. 4th place. I'm just going to keep saying that out loud. We finished ahead
Yet another
of
historic
Hamilton.
win under their belts. Well done to the team at Mercedes. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
So Lewis Hamilton comes home in
So
5th
after a
position.
magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who
All right,
take
not
top
bad
spot.
at all.
A well-earned victory for Mercedes.
I mean, come on, 4th place. We'll just have to remember this track in the future as one where we really have an opportunity to do some good things. Because if we finished in 4th position today, with the car we have right now, imagine what we can do as our car gets better. I mean, that is screaming podium at us. We didn't have the pace for a podium today, but in the future, hopefully next time we come back through here, we'll have just that. All right, let's get by all that
Let's see
stuff.
what effect this result has had on the drivers' standings. Valtteri Bottas passes his rival to take over the lead of the Drivers' Championship. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
It's got to be Valtteri Bottas, a commanding performance
Okay,
that I think
that's an
had
easy
the
choice.
audience's eyes glued to him for the majority of the race.
Let's move on to the constructors. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. Meanwhile, good work from the owner-drivers team this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. Well,
Is that what
was
we're doing?
certainly an
Owner-driver
incredible
team? Is that what
weekend
they're
of
calling
racing.
this?
Be
We
sure
gotta
to
come up
join
with a better
myself
name
and
than
Ant for more exciting Formula One action soon.
All right, so we come home in 4th. Let's look for our teammate. Where was he at? Okay, Alesi is down here in 19th, which honestly is about what you would expect. So I can't be mad about that, given the performance of the other AI. Instead, I'm going to choose to be extremely happy about our finish. Look at our fastest lap, 1:08. That is 3 seconds off of my additional time in the single player or quick race, however you want to say that. 3 seconds off of that. Wow. All right, so the quickest lap overall was a 1:07.8. Wow, we were right there with them as far as the fastest lap. That is a little bit odd. Let's go ahead and advance past this and see what else we got. Let's see what kind of acclaim. Oh, here we go.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that. You really cut your way through the field today. What was your strategy?
Okay, here we go. What do we want to use? Foot to the floor. Power unit can take it. All right, we got light and nimble. Okay, that's also good. Use the car nimbly. Okay, so both of these. And then aero is fantastic. I'm thinking... Wow. I'm almost thinking I want to go chassis here and say that our car is light and nimble. Let's go there. So chassis department's going to be happy about that.
You really looked in control of your car out there. Your team must be thrilled.
Okay, and I'm thrilled with their support during the race. Okay, I like that one. This one's for the fans. I always put on a good show. See, I don't like that. I always put on a good show. I don't like that at all. I do like the fan part of it, though. Couldn't do this without a great team. All right, so they want me to choose this one, I believe, for more acclaim with the fans. But I got to go with team. It says your acclaim was affected. I haven't paid any attention
Great. Well, that's everything.
to how much it's affected, or it's positive or negative. So I have no idea. But I'm going with that. All right, so here we go. Rivalry. We got... Oh, okay, we picked up some points on him there. All right, that's good. It's 10-8. I feel like we should have gotten more points for that. since we finished where we did, but unfortunately, not the case. Also, on this screen, take a look at the acclaim numbers for us as a driver. We're up to 7 now. Okay, remember, we need to get up to 8. Also, look at the team acclaim. That is huge. The team acclaim, we are really closing in on that 10 level, which means another sponsor. So 3.03 million there. Let's go ahead and advance. Let's see, where are we headed? Oh yeah, we're headed back to team headquarters. So as we finish up today's video, well, as many challenges as we had in our last race weekend, in our previous video, we had awesome results today. No failures, no issues of any kind. We did have a little bit of contact here and there, no doubt, but no damage in the race, and we came home just off the podium. I am ecstatic about everything that has happened today, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. Thank you so much for joining me, and stay tuned as we will continue our My Team gameplay in Formula 1 2020.